Hello, my name's Tom Craggs. I'm a running coach working for a company called Running With Us. We are the head coaches for Running Bug in the UK, and I want to talk to you today about the advanced 10-week half marathon training plan I've written for Running Bug. That's designed to take those of you a little bit more experienced. Perhaps you've run marathons in the past, certainly you may have run half marathons and raced 10Ks in the past, and you're looking to push your running along, hit new levels, break PBs, and really move your fitness forwards over the course of 10 weeks. You'll find the training plan is split over the course of 10 weeks worth of training, so it assumes you've got a bit of a base in place. That might be easy running or working off a previous training plan, and really the goal of the 10 weeks as I've laid them out is to get you as half marathon specific fit as we can possibly make you. So as the weeks go by, you'll see different elements included in the training plan. Perhaps some of those elements might be stuff you've not tried in the past. But the whole theme of the plan is to get you more and more half marathon ready as the weeks go by. So the plan, as I said, is really designed for those of you who've got a bit of experience. You're certainly looking to go out there and PB, or at least move your fitness and your running beyond where it's currently at the moment. And as such, you'll see that the plan is structured around 6 sessions a week with 1 rest day. Not all of those sessions necessarily need to be running. You'll see some of them are outlined as either run or cross-training sessions. Loads of advice I've written on cross-training on the Running Bug website. Basically anything working your heart and lungs, cardiovascular training that isn't running. So that might be work on a bike, an elliptical, aqua jogging or swimming in the pool. Basically anything where we're going to build your cardiovascular fitness without necessarily further stressing those running muscles. But the rest of the plan is running. And as I've laid it out, it includes 4 different training zones and effort zones for you to work in, and it's pretty straightforward in terms of what they mean. Zone 1 would be fully easy and conversational paced running. Certainly for those of you following the experience plan, this would be significantly slower than your planned half marathon pace. In fact, probably a bit slower than your current marathon pace if you've run marathons, perhaps even up to 45, 60, 75 seconds slower than a marathon pace. You can see really it's fully easy, fully conversational pace running, around 70% of your maximum heart rate, and that forms the basis and the bulk of your training plan, and we do that for a good reason. Building up your sustainable blocks of fully conversational pace running, fully easy running will help to build your capillary density, which means we get more oxygenated blood to your muscles and help you run more efficiently. It means we can build what we call your mitochondria, your energy production capacity within your cells. And it gets your body really, really good at using stored fats as a primary fuel source for your running, which does have a role in running a good half marathon at the end of this training block. So do embrace fully conversational pace running. Sometimes more experienced runners are not so good at this. They tend to go out and push a little bit on all of their runs. I would strongly advise you, where it says to do a zone 1 run, an easy run, that you really hold that pace back. That will definitely build a bigger aerobic capacity, but it will also allow you to hit your harder sessions that bit better. So be disciplined, be professional, and hold your easy running and your zone 1 running back. Zone 2 is steady state running. A lot of you be familiar with that term, perhaps around 75% of your maximum heart rate, around about a marathon pace, or maybe even a touch slower for some of the faster ones amongst you. It's got a role in the plan. You'll see it in there from time to time, but it's not a big role. As I said, zone 1 running probably has a more important role, and if you do too much in this zone 2 area, it becomes a bit of a junk mileage. We're not fully developing you at the easy and aerobic end, but we're also pushing a bit hard for you to get the most out of your zone 3 and 4 running, which I'll explain a little bit later down the run. So run in this area for sure, but do it with caution and do it sensibly. Zone 3, this is really the golden zone of your training plan. For those of you familiar with the terms, if you're a bit more experienced, the terms threshold running, tempo running all come into play in this zone. Essentially, it's running at a controlled discomfort, and we build you up in blocks from 5 minutes up to 10 minutes, and even sustained blocks of 20 to 25, even 30 minutes worth of this controlled discomfort, where you may be able to speak 3 or 4 words at a time. It might be paced between 10k and half marathon paced. For those of you a little bit quicker, it'll be more towards the half marathon pace. For those of you a little bit slower, it might be more like a 10k pace. But it's controlled discomfort. It's 80 to 85% of your maximum heart rate, and we do a lot of work in this area because it's just at the top of what we would call your aerobic window. Your body's starting to accumulate blood lactate a little bit faster. Your body's right on the edge of still burning some stored fats, but a little bit more carbohydrate. And working this area is what the elites do every week. Even some of them training 2-3 times a week in this zone, and it really will help you build a bigger heart, but it requires a little bit of discipline. You'll see in the early weeks of the plan sessions like 4x5, 5x5 minutes in this effort zone. Now, that's ultimately not a great deal of running, and if you wanted, you could push those blocks hard and run them at 5k pace. That's not what we want you to do. You won't even necessarily get fitter for the half marathon by doing that. We really, really want you to stick in that controlled discomfort zone, because as we build up the blocks and the volume of this running that we're doing over coming weeks, they will develop into some pretty hard sessions, and you need to have built up your experience in running these in certainly a controlled way. By training just at the top of that aerobic window, not too much in a kind of anaerobic zone 4 area, which I'm going to talk about in a second, we will make sure that we're developing the speed endurance that you need for the half marathon. We don't just need speed, we need speed endurance, and we need your body able to tolerate long blocks of running at a controlled discomfort. And that's why this zone is so crucial in the plan. Zone 4, it's what we classically called interval running. It's harder effort. It's 85, 90, 90% plus of your maximum heart rate. It's 3k pace running, 5k pace running, hard efforts. It's definitely got a role in your plan as experienced runners, and you'll see particularly in the final few weeks we increase the amount of running you're doing in this zone to build a bigger engine, to get the leg speed up a little bit, and to really start revving that top area to get you fit and totally sharp for race day. This stuff's great, but don't do it to the exclusion of your zone 3 running. Your zone 3 running needs to come first, which is why you'll see in a training plan that the early weeks don't include a lot of zone 4 efforts really. Majority of it will be in that kind of slightly easier zone 3 effort, but building longer blocks. By building the zone 4 blocks on top of that, we will really, really get you fit and sharp and ready to race. You'll see a few other elements in the plan. Hill sessions, quite simple hill blocks, nothing too fancy with the hill work. They will build stronger and more powerful glute muscles, hamstring muscles, quad muscles, calf muscles. Very simple sessions really in the first part of the training plan, and what you'll notice is over the first 4, 5, 6 weeks, the amount of hill running you're doing gently going up as we develop your body's ability to cope with that powerful muscle contraction that you'll experience in each of those efforts. Again, don't blow yourself to bits on these efforts. You'll see that we're looking to include blocks of 45, 60, 90 seconds of hard hill running. If you sprint as hard as you possibly can on each of those efforts, you'll never make the end of the session. So there still needs to be a bit of an element of control. Run hard up the hill. Check out our advice on Runningberg about how to get your form and technique right with good hill running. Stay nice and tall, drive the elbows, get to the top of the hill. You will be out of breath, you will be working hard, but it's in a controlled way. Turn, gently run back down, and repeat for the set blocks of time. Obviously, there's quite a lot of running in this training plan. For those of you who are experienced at doing even more than that, please do feel free to add double days if you're used to doing them. Don't just chuck them in if you're not. But if you're used to doing double days, that means training twice on the same day. Of course, you can do that. We would recommend you adding double days if you want to do that on the days when you're doing those harder sessions. That might be Tuesdays and Thursdays as we've laid out the plan, with your second session just being a very easy 30 to 40 minute run or cross training session, which will help add overall volume to the training plan. But there's quite a lot in there, so be sensible, be controlled. I'd much rather you be training 5 to 6 times a week in a sustainable way where you can build in a quality as the weeks go by, rather than just loading in a load of extra volume and not hitting the high quality sessions as we've laid them out. Take ownership over the training plan. It's not a tablet of stone. Of course you can chop and change when you do the sessions. That's absolutely fine, and we would expect you to do that. We all have different work, family and social lives. If you feel that you need a little bit of extra rest, you're particularly tired, you're carrying a little bit of a niggle, take ownership of the plan, cut back, take an extra rest day, back off some of the harder intensity training, and take ownership so as you don't dig yourself into a hole later on in the plan. For those of you who are moving along serenely through the plan, we'd certainly recommend you going out there perhaps on around week 5 and having a bit of a cutback week where you might look to complete a 10k race at the end of it, where you can just build a bit of confidence, get used to doing a bit of racing harder than half marathon pace, but also enjoying the benefits from having a slightly lighter week halfway through the plan. And then you will see in the final 4 weeks that we've included a decent amount of half marathon pace running into the plan at the end of your long runs, and this is really, really crucial. Obviously on race day you need to stand on the line and really have a sense about what pace you're ready to attack the race at. So this is your opportunity to practice your planned half marathon pace. We suggest doing it at the end of your long run because obviously that's going to replicate when you're most fatigued in the race. So look to include those blocks of effort as we've suggested. You're going to need to go into those blocks well fueled. So if you are going to be practicing with gels and certainly your planned race day breakfast, you need to be really prepared for those final key long runs. They are tough, and don't be surprised if that half marathon pace does feel pretty challenging in a training run, particularly if you're doing it on your own. So keep with the plan, stay on track, try not to get too diverted by people doing different types of training from different training plans. This is about you, and the whole point of the training plan is that we build those blocks of zone 3 running, of controlled discomfort and of half marathon pace gradually as we move through the plan. I guarantee you, if you stick on this plan and you hit the effort zones as we've suggested, you will have a fantastic half marathon at the end of it. Enjoy the training, keep in touch with us, and do check out our other advice on strength and conditioning and core training, which I'd suggest supplementing your training with perhaps twice a week as you move through the plan. Enjoy it, keep in touch, and good luck with your half marathon training journey.